Z from MarketWizards.com and eMiniWizard.com. It's about 10 minutes of 10 on the 16th of April 2019. Mining traders use risk capital you can afford to lose. We had suggested would be lucky if we could get back to the 15 area. I still believe that this is the right call. We'd said that risk reward made it very difficult to try to go long at the open. We thought it would be lucky to get back. We got to get past the 17s first. And then we said potentially try to get back to the middle. If you've got a trailer, that would be the 15.5 zone. And then I've got 1475 as the half gap. Should be in that neighborhood, 14 a quarter, 1475. And this is the symmetry on target. And by that, I mean, this is yesterday's in that breakout, that 3-point breakout. So this is a retest of that zone. And my belief, we're not going to close a gap. We could, and we could come flying down here, but I'm not counting on that. So anybody short side, I think you should be paid by this 15 to certainly 14. And I've got aggressive support right here at this 13, 1275 area. And remember, the goal is take something out of the market, get your VIG, and then move on. You do not have to trade all day long. You're looking for one good trade. This was the program trade that I talked about overnight that started at 315. And you can see from this prior low that held the shorts captive up here at 17.25. Once we broke that, then the next true support based on this structure is this low right here at 1275. So paid for sure. 15.5 to 14, got to get paid for sure. And that's a great trade. Truthfully, I thought that would be much harder to come back, but the generals decided, okay, let's take a look at the angels and demons quickly. All right, so here's our angels and demons. 2075, I said, was our resistance demon. And our overnight low is 10, and we've got just above that, like 10.25, 10.5 as our angel. If we get back into the middle of the angels and demons, that is a target line that you want to make sure you respect and get paid. Just something that I've noticed. So this is the backing and filling. That's all we know. "30-minute chart, we're coming into a rising moving average. This is the 3-point breakout that I talked about. Third time through trade. Here's one. Here's one right there. This counts as 2. This is the third one that doesn't get through. And then right here is the third time through trade. And the pullback is buyable typically. And in here, this held that 12 that we said should be all important. Push and then squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. And then this pullback retests that breakout. Now, if we come through this and come lower, and we need to look at, obviously, the intraday range as important. And failure would be if we stall and then take out today's low and then come back and start to mess around in yesterday's low zone. I would be surprised if we do that. Gap is back here at that 10 area. So for now, all we know is we have a range trade. All right, this is the predictive model. Note how that 2900.5 we said yesterday, theoretically our support, that was this breakout. Remember how we said that this is the first test, and that's usually buyable. And then we get to float back up, chop, chop, and float back up. End of the day, I said probably have one more short you can hit. That was this one right here that comes back and then can't go any lower than that 675 magnet. And then it floats up and innocently doesn't look like much. But I said last night before I went to bed, I told you guys that it looks like they're protecting 10. And as such, once that thing takes off overnight, our next target we'd said was this 21 to 22 area. So when you wake up and you are already at your targets, then the odds really don't favor a big push upside, and you hope you can get something more meaningful than just a 3 or 4 point rotation. And then finally the big boys come in and say, yeah, let's bring it back. So this is a retest of that zone, and that's why I said this 15 should be make sure you're paid coming into 15 basis this predictive model. So anybody that's got themselves something short side, congrats. Not an easy trade, but it works out today. And there have been times when they would just jam this and then come back, jam it up 5-6 points, and then you say, okay, let's buy the pullback, and then they whack you. So this is a common sense trade that works, if you took it. And if not, that's okay. You learn from it. Certainly not an easy trade. Okay, and this is a 2-day chart. And we can see where yesterday, this was our range. We held the green circle. Now we've stretched up to a higher target. And this 1475 is a big idea. Above that, we're in a continuation type mode. And below that, we're starting to do more range trading and backing and filling. So we're going to take this now and we're going to say, okay, so for now, that's our resistance zone. And we're talking basis a 2-day range. And this is our fighting zone. And now this is our support zone, theoretically. And this is the battle that we need to wage between these 3 circles for now. And this is typical where the boys throw a gap up, and then you're lucky if you get your back and fill, and it makes you conservative, and that's how they keep doing this inchworm deal. I would not overtrade. If you got yourself, I said if you got 2 points during IB, would be lucky. Anybody that's got themselves back in here, versus this relationship, past that 15, much tougher right now. So I said, let's focus on a very small range as IB. Okay, here's our 5 RTH. Yesterday's rain line held, got up above the blue line, gap up. We come back down, but we have rising moving averages. And this pattern this year has been very challenging for the shorts. No matter what, it takes time to rotate through the green, the red, and get back here to the gap area. And as the market evolves, these lines will actually start to come up and rise, and that usually makes it very challenging for the short side. Certainly has most of this year. And here's plain Jane. Step by step. You can see how this breakout has held. This breakout has held. And they love to just float this thing up. over and over. That's the game that they have been playing. So currently, probably this 10 is the most important idea for now. That's the gap zone. And we know we've got a range type trade. This low right here, an aggressive squeeze pivot. All right, this 12.5 zone. Below that, the gap right here. And then below that, obviously this doji bar. So these are all squeeze pivots. And currently, the generals have chosen to come backwards, so it's kind of neutral right now. But I still think that the shorts have a difficult challenge. Certainly, in my opinion, this is a range trade at best, and I'm going to use the 2-day chart to help understand what they're trying to do today. And that's this one right here. Very small range to work with again today for now. Risk reward. Best friend this morning for the convenient trade, which is fading the push and trying to come back because it's already near the high. That's why we call that the convenient trade. And I got just after 10 o'clock for our new trader who's invested in the E-mini Wizard system. IB is the first hour of the day, RTH, regular trading hours. And that would be this one. Got a 5-point range right now, RTH. And this is backing and filling for now. I don't believe the high is in yet for the day. Could be wrong, but I do think today will go up a little bit higher. And I said risk reward on the on the NQ. I said there was about 5 points left there that I was looking for their next target. Pretty close to what we were looking for. All right, so here's yesterday's RTH range. We've got a breakout above this range RTH wise, but the day high was back here in the 14s and third time through in the 14s, 1475. And like I said earlier, we're splitting hairs back here, this pretty important zone right in here that I'm considering as an aggressive idea needs to hold, this 12.5 area. Tough trading when they give us the crumbs, but if you're going to play this game, young man's game, and the holdovers have done so much better this year. Anybody who's traded alongside with like an index fund and just kept moving stops up has made out very well this year. That game will end, but no one knows when.